Have you ever been in a position where someone asked you to do a favor when you were like minding your business, having your me time or whatever, and you didn't really want to do it, but the favor that the person asked you to do wouldn't just affect them if you didn't do it, but like it would actually affect you, right? Like for example, if someone asked you to go get some food or someone asked you to cook in your house, like you may not want to do it if you're minding your business or whatever, but if you really think about it, the truth is eventually you're gonna be hungry too, and when you're hungry, you're gonna need something to eat. So you might as well just help the other person out, and instead of just like thinking about yourself. Everybody wins pretty much if you were to do that favor and if you were to actually, take that action. Well, that's kind of what happened in the story of Esther, which is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be taking a look at kind of like her story and just taking out some lessons. Again, guys, I'm trying to keep it to 2-3 lessons that we could take from this story and apply to our life. And so, just a little background on Queen Esther. She was an Israelite living in a foreign land. She became a queen in Persia, and she was just a person who was just, I feel like it's just interesting to read the story. If you go read it, it's almost like she was just kind of minding her business, and God gave her this opportunity and opened up this opportunity for her to actually step in and to be queen. One of the things that came up in the story is that there was a man named Haman who was plotting to kill the Jews, and Esther was actually raised by a family member named Mordecai, and he raised her as his own daughter. And so when Mordecai finds out, he's not living, in the palace or whatever, but Esther is, and he finds out that Haman is plotting to kill the Jews, he goes and tries to get Esther to do something about it. And so Mordecai sends a message to Esther asking for help, but this is what Esther says in response in Esther chapter 4, verse 11. All of the king's officials and even the people in the provinces know that anyone who appears before the king in his inner courts without being invited is doomed to die unless the king holds out his gold scepter. And the king has not called for me to come in 30 days. So clearly, Esther, point number one, is a little bit more concerned about her own life than the life of the entire nation of Israel living in this land. Now, when it comes to our purpose and it comes to the things that we are called to do, sometimes we get so caught up in ourselves and like our lives and our dreams and our everything, me, that we forget that there is a people that God has called us to serve. And we make it so much about us that we don't really see that there's an opportunity to be a blessing to other people. This brings me to lesson number one. Don't get so caught up in yourself that you forget the fact that God has a plan for your life. God has something that he wants you to do. And when you are so focused on yourself, like there's a chance that you just might miss that. And you can't be more focused on yourself than you are on the mission. As Christians, like our life isn't even for ourselves. Like our lives are for God. So it's like, it's like not even really about you. And sometimes you just have to humble yourself and pray that prayer just like Jesus did. Not my will, but your will be done. The second thing that I wanted to point out in the story, the second lesson, is the fact that after this, Mordecai actually sends a response back to her. And in verse 13, it says, Mordecai sent this reply to Esther. Don't think for a moment because you're in the palace, you will escape when all the other Jews are killed. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise from some other place, but you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time like this. The second point I wanted to bring up is the fact that Esther had Mordecai in her life, and he was able to kind of talk some sense in her and help her to see that the problem that she was called to solve wasn't just something for the people, but it was something that would affect her. Kind of going back to my example in the beginning about, cooking the food because you know that you're gonna be hungry later. You're not just cooking for other people, but you're cooking for yourself. And so Esther kind of got it together because Mordecai spoke to her and she actually listened to his words and listened to what he says. And with that, I just want to challenge you. I guess this is my second point, but kind of like almost a question, like who is the Mordecai that's in your life, or who are the Mordecais that are in your life? Like you got to be able to be teachable so that people can tell you stuff, and that when they tell you stuff, you don't just go and do your own thing. Like you need to be able to have people that you can receive from that are speaking life into your life and have real relationships with Jesus, because sometimes those people are the ones that are gonna help you to push you into your purpose. Esther would have never went and probably did that if Mordecai just let it go. Like, clearly she was ready to just let everybody die because she was scared and she was so concerned about herself that she was willing to sacrifice everybody else because she was so scared for herself. But thank God for Mordecai, right, who was able to speak some sense in her. So encouragement number 2 is that as you pursue your purpose, look out for the people in your life, the people that are supposed to be speaking into your life and are going to give you wisdom and push you closer towards the things that God has for you. And this just brings me to my last point. Mordecai says to her, who knows if perhaps you were made queen. Mom, I'm doing a YouTube video. Yeah, Mordecai told her, who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this. You are a problem solver. It is the title of the video because the truth is you are a problem solver. You think God just like let all that stuff happen like that for no reason? Like, no. God set it up. He opened up the opportunity for this Jewish girl to be queen in a foreign land. He opened up the opportunity that when she actually went to the king, he didn't kill her on the spot, but he let her come through. And just like Esther, was literally put in that position for that specific time at a specific place because she was called to solve that problem. Like, there is a problem with your name on it. There's a problem that you are called to solve, and that is connected to your purpose. Like I said in my last video, you may work and your work itself, the job you do, like whatever you do may not necessarily be the purpose, but the truth is the problem that God has called you to solve is something that you can do wherever you go, whether you're at work, at Stop and Shop. If y'all may not be from Boston, so you don't know what Stop and Shop is, but your local supermarket, you know what I'm saying? Wherever you go, there is a problem that God has called you to solve. And I just want to encourage you in the fact that you were created to solve a problem. Don't let your pride win. Don't sit in that mindset that it's all about you, because the truth is it isn't all about you. There are other people's souls on the line. There are other people's lives on the line. And you are the answer. You are the answer to somebody's problem. You are the answer to somebody's prayer request. Don't let your pride win, all right? And listen to your leaders, listen to people who have wisdom, people who have wise counsel. Like, have wise counsel in your life, because it's really going to help you get to where you need to go. You may not necessarily know whatever it is, but I pray that God would help you if you don't know what your purpose is, to show you. I hope you are encouraged to pursue your purpose and pursue the things that God has for you and be the problem solver that God has called you to be in whatever area or sphere of influence He has called you to do that in. But that's all I have for you guys today. I want to take the time to thank y'all for watching the video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Check out the links in the bio. Follow me on Instagram. I got a Patreon if you want to support your girl, get you a shirt, you know what I'm saying, about purpose. There's so much stuff, guys. Just check out the link in the bio. And leave a comment if this blessed you. Share this with somebody you know who needs it. But other than that, I will see y'all in the next one. Until next time, peace.